Hello, this is Reddithan, and welcome to GPC Week 3 against Dom and his Richmond Rayquazas. It's been a while since Week 2. Like with the TBU, the GPC also took a week off due to exchange and ownership, so so that's why this one's late. Week 4 is going to be next week, so getting right back into things. But for right now, we have Week 3. If you remember last week, we lost in probably the most unfortunate way possible, but we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about this week because last week was in the past. Let it remain in the past and let us never think of it again. So anyway, let's just get right into the team. As not leading off, but first off, we have Scarfdug Trio with Earthquake, Shadowclaw, Stone Edge, and Sludge Wave, and really, against Dom, this thing pretty much destroys him. I mean, he has a Tapu Koko that dies to Earthquake, a Mega Beedrill that also dies to dies to Stone Edge. He has a Latias that gets Outspeed and takes about 50 if it's offensive from Shadowclaw. It has an Entei, which if he locks into something that's not E-Speed, he dies to Earthquake. After Rocks, I believe. He's got a Magnezone, which gets OHKO'd by Earthquake, of course. And then he's got a Whimsicott, which this is actually, it doesn't OHKO with Sludge Wave, but it comes really close if I get prior damage on it. So, yeah, pretty much, he just drops to Scarfdug Trio. I'll explain the moves there. I actually ran Naive just in case, or Max Speed Nature just in case Keldeo is Scarfed. However, what that does is that it makes it so Earthquake is not a guaranteed OHKO on Beedrill if it has HP investment, which I knew it would have. So I had to run Stone Edge for that in case I was in that scenario. So that was right. I didn't think he would have any reason to run Scarf Keldeo, but I was kind of afraid of it because if he does, then I don't know. I feel like I usually screw things up like that, where I lose my checks to it, and then it would just win. I don't know. I get afraid of things. Next up, we have Weavile, and this is Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Natural Gift, and Pursuit. This is Blueberry, Natural Gift, which turns into 100 base power Electric move, and that's to deal with Keldeo, because this actually OHKOs in electric terrain, and usually and yeah, if it has prior damage on it, of course, then I just knock it out. So using for that, and I really had nothing better to put in there. I didn't need Ice Shard because, I just did not need Ice Shard for him at all. So I was like, let's put Natural Gift on there. Pursuit for Latias. Then we have Knockoff and Icicle Crash just because it hits a lot of pretty much his entire team. And then enough speed to outspeed Latias. Actually, yes, outspeed Latias or Whimsicott, whichever was faster. I don't know. It's been a while since I built this team. Next up, we have Rizzicow, and it's got Block, Milk Drink, Stealth Rock, and Seismic Toss. This is an interesting set. And what the idea behind it was that if he leads Dogfan, then I can block it in and set up my rocks, and then I have the Rocky Helmet. And what that does is that if the Donphan tries to spin, then if it dies to Rocky Helmet when it spins, then it doesn't actually get rid of the rocks. So that was kind of a little strategy there. So I was just anticipating him kind of trying to do that, trapping him in and trying to spin away the rocks, and then him just dying to the Rocky Helmet, and then me keeping my rocks up, which would be great because he has a Beedrill and an Entei, both which I don't really want to deal with. And then we got Max Step to deal with that better, and it also is Thick Fat, so it can switch into Entei. And then we have Seismic Toss in there over Body Slam, and I put that on there just in case the Entei goes for Sacred Fire and it gets the burn. Then the burn won't really matter, and Seismic Toss will still continue to do damage, and it doesn't have any ghost types, so it hits everything, so it's all good. Next up, we have Tynamos Celesteela. And this is actually Earthquake, Heavy Slant, Acrobatics, and Eject Button. And, okay, basically my strategy for this game was, he leads with, he either leads with Donphan, Koko, or Beedrill. And kind of the idea behind that was, so I lead with Miltank. If he leads with Donphan, I stay in and block it. If he leads with Coco, I can go into Venusaur. However, if he leads with Beedrill, then I just switch into Celesteela. It activates the eject button, which actually cancels out the U-turn, so I get this switch initiative and he doesn't. So I can go into Dugtrio, trap it, and kill it with Stone Edge. And then after that, I have the acrobatics up. So I have the acrobatics boost, so I can just set up later, and then sweep something once this team's weakened enough. So pretty genius strategy, if I do say so myself. Next up, we have Tapu Fini with Moonblaster, Calm Mind, and Reflect. I felt I didn't really need. I felt I did not need Defog because he doesn't have any spikes, and my team didn't really care about rocks at all. Not even Weavile really. Like, I was just like, you know, I really don't need to get rid of rocks. Let's just make this thing tanky because it can switch in on Keldeo, Entei, of course, because it can't get burned, which is really nice. Switch in on Donphan, Latias, you know, just a whole bunch of stuff. It can switch in and set up Calm Minds on. We have to watch out for the Beedrill and the Coco, but yeah, once those are gone, then this thing pretty much destroys them. And then we got the Reflect for the switch-in, so it gives me a little easier time dealing with some of his physical threats. And yeah, it's Max Spadef because I wanted to kind of like try to catch the Coco off guard maybe by being Spadef with the Calm Mind and stuff, and yeah, stuff and things. And finally we have oh shit. Can I control? Okay. Well, bye, Fini. Anyway, so next up we have Mega Venusaur, Max Fizdef, and this was really my main switch into Coco. And I'm actually Fizdef because, in case he's running Brave Bird for this thing, which I assumed he probably was, then I'd have something to deal with it. 3 attacks, Sludge-Bug, Giga Drain, and HP Fire hits his entire team. HP Fire was because I didn't really have much of an answer for Magnezone outside of Dugtrio, so I wanted something to hit that a bit better. And yeah, so that's the team. Let's see how it works out. As here we go. As he brought pretty much what I expected him to bring. Actually, pretty much exactly what I expected him to bring. So yeah, let's click that play button. So I first lead off with Rizikal, like I said, and he actually leads off with Coco. So yeah, pretty much what I expected. I expected either the Donphan, the Coco, or the Beedrill. Like I said, I had plans for all 3 of them. So here I'm actually going to go into the Venusaur as it goes for the U-turn. He goes into the Beedrill, and here is where I set the plan to action, because if he switches into Beedrill, I knew that there was really, you know, he goes for he's either running Poison Jab, Drill Run, U-turn. That's pretty much all his moves are, or knockoff. Either way, Celesteela is activating the eject button, and this thing is getting killed by Dugtrio. So I'm just gonna do that right away. As he megas up and goes for the U-turn, there's the eject button, and I go into Dugtrio. And here I'm just like, okay, this thing's trapped. It can't do anything. I'm scarfed. Let's kill it with the Stone Edge. Oh, and I miss, and Dugtrio goes down. What would you really expect of this point from me? And after the battle, I realized, you know, I really should have run Adamant just to pick up the roll, because I had switches for Keldeo. I did not need to run. I did not need to run a max speed nature. Of course, I still get outspeed by Scarf Latias, but I really just I mean, it's very unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. I played that right. I played that perfectly. That was, you know, that was the right play for sure at that point in the game. And it was really unfortunate, like really, really bad luck that happened. But I mean, it could have been prevented. I'm still salty as hell about it, but it's something to improve on in the future, something to remember. But yeah, that totally happened. First turn of the game, or third turn of the game too. And like the one thing that I had to kill like his entire team. Yeah. So he's gonna go into Donphan here, and I go for plan number 2 as I block this thing in as it goes for rocks. And I'm gonna set up my rocks here. He's gonna go for Earthquake, and that was quite a bit, showing me that this thing is actually offensive. But I'm going for the Seismic Toss to do a good chunk of damage. And yeah, I'm just gonna start healing up here a bit. And I really want to get this thing in a range where it's gonna get die to Rocky Helmet. I'm gonna set this other Seismic Toss there. And here what I should have done after going for the Milk Drink is I should have gone for the rocks again. However, he was smart and actually predicts that and goes, or I assume he predicted it. I don't know. Or he predicted the rocks. I don't know. I don't know what he was predicting there, but it was the right play because now my stealth rocks aren't up and this plan has been foiled. Yeah, had a Dugtrio hit that Stone Edge though, I'd be in a great position because that's like one thing that Dugtrio can't kill down. But anyway. So here goes into Keldeo, and I go into Tapu Fini because I can really deal with this thing easily. And she sets up the sub, and I was like, okay, sub Calm Mind maybe, but no, it's actually sub SD. So I was fairly confused at this point, but like I didn't really care because even though this is Bidef Tapu Fini, this Keldeo, once it goes down to the Moonblast, it just dies to Weavile. But yeah, that does about half, and it doesn't have the poison jab, so Keldeo is just gonna go down there easily. I don't really know what that set was, or what it was for, but I don't know. Keldeo's gone though. So now there's the Wild Charge from the Coco. I would have switched into Venusaur, but since I wasn't Mega'd up, I didn't know if he was going to go for the Brave Bird or something. And I didn't really need Fini at that point anyway. And I didn't want to risk this thing being mixed and going into Rizikao. But here I am going to get my Mega up. As he goes for the U-turn, which is to be expected. And he goes into his Latias here as I go for the Sludge Bomb. I just want damage off. As here, I'm going to predict the T-Bolt and go for the Synthesis. Because I figured the switch into either the Weavile or the Celesteela seemed obvious there. So I figured he was going to either go for a Dragon move or Thunderbolt there. But now I will actually switch into Weavile on the predicted Psychic, which is nice. And I'm just going to pursue this thing. He actually has the Cobra Berry, which I didn't see coming, but Thunderbolt actually does nothing, surprisingly. And Latias still won't go down because I forgot that the thing doesn't have an item. But now it does go down because Icicle Crash, so there goes Latias. So now at this point, he only has 3 things that died at Dugtrio. Anyway. And so actually just going to let Weavile go in there because I had no reason to keep that around anymore. Anyway, so here I go into Celesteela because I can just set up on this thing. It goes for the Endure. I get the Autotomize. And what I should have done here is that I completely forgot that Endure actually works like Protect, where it only has a 50% chance the second time. So actually I don't even know why. Okay, well, okay. First off, this thing was Jolly Nature. Because I wanted to outspeed, I forget what I wanted it to outspeed in particular, but it was outspeed something, after +2 that it wouldn't be able to do with Adamant. So, Earthquake is not actually a guaranteed KO on Magnezone, so I wanted to predict the Magnezone there, but, so go for the Earthquakes, but it actually, doesn't kill the Beedrill, of course, and, cause I didn't think he was, I didn't think there was any way he was going to stay in there. I didn't think he was just going to sack off his Beedrill. So I was like, you know what, he's probably going to go into the Magnezone here. But he actually leaves Beedrill in, and it still lives, and now he goes in Magnezone. Sure, that's be Air Balloon. But, so I should have just gone for the Acrobatics there. I actually probably would have won if I did that. But I didn't, or not would have won, but I would have killed the Beedrill there, definitely. So I don't know, this stupid Beedrill is just giving me a hard time for sure. But here's going to go for the Volt Switch, and I believe I just go for the, I switch into that. Now I go into the Rizikao, as that takes some Rocky Helmet damage. And he goes into the Tapu Koko, and I'm just going to let Rizzy go down here. And here I go into Venusaur, as he goes through the Brave Bird actually, and I'm able to tank that. So I'm just going to Synthesis back up. And he's going to go for the U-turn and into the Magnezone, which I can actually 1v1 pretty easily. So I'm just going to keep going for those HP fires. And yeah, just keep doing some damage to this thing. Yeah, so we're gonna heal up. I was just praying at this point that I didn't get the drop. You know, of all the things that could have happened in this game, that would just be the worst. But thankfully, it doesn't happen, as I'm able to Synthesis back up again, and it's just gonna go down to the no, I can Synthesis one more time, and now it goes down to the HP fire. Or no, Giga Drain because memes. But now he goes into the Beedrill, and here is actually I knew this thing was Endeavor. I knew this thing was Endure Endeavor, And so I was like, okay, I really don't. I want to keep this thing. I want it to be able to kill Venusaur, so I can so I can go into Celesteela and set up. However, that just wasn't going to happen here, as Dom's smarter than that. As I go for the Giga Drain, but I actually get the crit because I didn't want to kill it. I was like, okay, let's not kill it. But so I go for the Giga Drain there because I was like, okay, it won't kill it. I'll survive another turn. But it gets the crit, which was actually a roll. I was like, okay, this is like the one crit I think I get all season, and it's actually one I didn't want. And anyway, so yeah, he's just gonna be able to pretty much just clean up here with Coco. And yeah, so I mean, this was a game that I pretty much had won. I had the matchup, I had the strategy in place. It was just that Stone Edge miss that really screwed me over. Had I gone for the acrobatics on the Beedrill there, I probably also would have won with Venusaur being able to take everything. But I don't know. I don't really know if that was a good play by him or a bad play. I don't know if that was something he predicted or what, but it worked for him. But yeah, just yeah, like I said, I do know I should have run Adamant on the Doug Trio because Zarkeldeo I had answers for if we ran that, but come on, man, just give me a break for once. Like, anyway, this is things you learn from. I made some changes. I announced it on Twitter, but I'll say it here. Anyway, I actually dropped Mega Venusaur and Infernape for Megazard X, Shaman, and Hitmonchan. So I feel like those changes are a lot better. It makes my team a lot more threatening. So we'll see how that works out as we face Melintosh next week. So we'll see how that goes. And thank you so much for watching. This has been Redathan, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.